The NRA, here's another, this is an interesting, federal election law requires that if somebody solicits you for money that they're going to use for campaigns, in other words, they're going to use it to try to elect or unelect or prevent the election of anybody for political office, that solicitation, and this is from the Federal Election Commission, that solicitation must clearly identify who's going to benefit from the donation, that the person engaged in the solicitation, the solicitor, must advise potential donors that gifts will be used in connection with a federal election campaign. This is the actual language from the Federal Election Commission. The solicitor must advise any potential donor that gifts are voluntary. A corporation or membership group may solicit only from its members or employees, what is known as a restricted class. It may not solicit from the general public. And websites used for solicitation by a corporation or membership group must be accessible only by members or employees. That is the restricted class. They must not be accessible to the general public. Now, the NRA's websites are available to the general public. They are soliciting funds from people and not telling them that they will then use those funds in political campaigns. And at least according to the allegations made over on Yahoo News by Alan Berlow, and you can find this at yahoo.com /politics / and then it gets into the NRA's deceptive shell game with donations in fact, the NRA's brazen shell game with donations, a Yahoo News investigation, is the headline. And what Yahoo News has discovered is that the NRA is violating federal election law. Now, why would an organization that wealthy with that many good lawyers think that they could just get away with breaking the election laws? Could be because the Federal Election Commission, the FEC, which is charged with monitoring and tracking and prosecuting violations of federal election laws, is paralyzed right now. Not unlike the House of Representatives, only this is somewhat different. There are 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats who run the Federal Election Commission, and the 3 Republicans are refusing to go to any meetings. They refused to even join the Democrats on the panel that control the FEC for breakfast. The Democrats said, "Okay, you don't want to have any formal meetings. Let's get together for breakfast and talk." And the Republicans said, "Well, what are you going to serve? Where are we going to eat?" And the Democrats said, "Well, how about this?" And they proposed a breakfast, whatever it was. And the Republicans said, "No, we don't want to eat that stuff." I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, this is how bizarre it gets, right? So the NRA knows that there's not going to be any enforcement this year or next year of our election laws. So, hey, what the hell? They're not going to be enforced. We might as well break them. And I would submit to you that in all probability, the NRA is not alone in that. That, Karl Rove, the Koch brothers, a whole bunch of these other groups that are looking at this stuff are going, hey, nobody's going to enforce the election laws. What the hell? We'll win the election. We'll change the laws. And in fact, if the Republicans can continue to hold on to the House and Senate and they can get the White House, they can actually do that. And the Supreme Court will back them up as long, particularly if you get a Republican in the White House, you're going to add a couple more right-wingers to the Supreme Court over the next couple of years. Almost certainly. 3 members of the Supreme Court are going to be over 80 years old on the day the next president is sworn in January 2017. And 4 members will be over 80 within a year of that. Doesn't mean they're going to drop like flies. Doesn't mean they're going to retire. But every day that goes by after 80, the probabilities really start cranking up there. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Interesting stuff. We live in interesting times, as they famously say. Tracy.